Hey there everyone, Luke here, and well, after the last chapter, after this latest chapter, I kind of have to agree with Party Gems on what he said last week in regards to me saying like, oh, it was going a bit too easy for Yozakura. Now, I kind of still stand by that because they've not really had like a major obstacle because they've kind of already known like, oh, this is what Asa is planning and everything. So I feel like when I say like it's going a bit too easy, like there's no like immediate like, oh my god, we did not expect that moment, but I feel like that is going to come up, and we maybe but hopefully by the end of what's going on currently, me and Pyrus will be on the same way forever. But I do get where he comes from, how he's saying like it's taking everything that they get, and I do agree with that. It is taking everything that the Yozakuras I've got the households to take down Asa, but at the same time I feel like Asa really should have one more trick up his sleeve to kind of get the one up on them. And given that we've still got a few chapters, because I feel like the series is going to end at volume 30, and we've still got a few chapters of volume 29 left before we get to volume 30. I feel like after this chapter, the next chapter that hopefully that will be coming out on Sunday, hopefully we might get something that will put a wrench in the plan of the Yozakuras. But anyway, let's just dive right into the chapter. Okay, so this will be chapter 252, titled Daybreak. Obviously referring to like, oh, it's the dawn of a new era for the Yozakuras, and it's the dawn of Tayio being risen from the control of Asa. So anyway, we kick off from where the end of the last chapter left off, where we have Tsubumi, Alpha, and Hilfa. They're touching the heart of Ri, and everyone's just waiting like, okay, is Tayio gonna wait? Is Tayio gonna wake up, or is Asa fully going to get control of him? As they say, like, focus, nothing is wrong, and we see that Hilfumi and Alpha are really concentrating on what is going on in here. As we have Kiricho with Momo, who are saying like, both of us will give the last of our strengths to send your power to him. Take it, use it, save Tayio from fathers. And I do like what Tsubumi says here. Of both of us will give the last of our strength to send your power to him. Like obviously we're referring to, okay, we're gonna use my strength to send to Momo so that Momo can get at Tayio out of Asa. But the one thing that I do like about it is that Tsubumi says save Tayio from fathers, and then she cuts herself off to say from Asa's clutches. And I do like that. That's really good notion of just how much Tsubumi has suffered from the hands of her father. Like she doesn't even think of Asa as her father anymore. Like the guy who's standing right here in the current storyline for 300 years, like she's just like, yeah, this guy is not my father. Is not my father anymore. May have been at the beginning, may have loved me at the beginning, but he was always just using me. He never saw me as a true human being. He always saw me as like an experiment. Like this pretty much like it's kind of ironic, like when you look at someone like Mayuri from Bleach, who at the beginning of the Bleach series, just you would not think that, oh yeah, Mayuri, oh yeah, Nemu, yeah, she's my daughter, but I could just do whatever I want with her. Like at the beginning of Bleach, you just saw that with Mayuri, just like beating on Nemu, who's meant to be his daughter. But by the end of the series, he's like, okay, yeah, maybe I should start treating Nemu more like a person. Whereas with Asa, it's like the complete opposite. Like he might have started out loving Tsubumi, but like his notion to be a scientist and all these experiments just made him just like give up on humanity, give up his humanity. And at this point, Tsubumi's like, yeah, this guy, not my father. I don't care what happens to him. I have been through enough. I just want to end my suffering. So you get Tayio out of you get Asa out of Tayio and get him right out of this world here and now. So I do like that notion of what she says that with line, where she's like, from Asa's clutches. And as all of this is going on, as the power is just like surging back into Tayio and back in, through Momo, Musume's just like, okay, Tayio, wake up now. And we do see Tayio waking up, as we saw at the end of the last chapter. And this is where Asa, because Asa's a kind of a hard guy to read, like what emotion he's figuring right now. But I get the feeling like he's like, oh, yeah, Tao's gonna be waking up right now. Like, oh crap. As we see like Tao, literally using the power, right, or it's Momo commanding Tao to use the power to just rip Asa out of him, and Asa's there just being like, no, I'm gonna cling on to Tao right now, so you guys better not. But you see this black fist's void come down for Asa. It's like literally trying to pull Asa out of Tayio, and Asa's realised, oh yeah, this is actually Momo that's doing this. It's through the power of the dreams blooming. I know that, but don't even bother trying to do that, because I'm just going to cling on to the heart of Tayio. Like, he's literally clinging on to the heart of Tayio right here, as he goes on to say, using dreams to stimulate his mind and break my conquest hold over him. A clever method. So yeah, Asa, like with being established, like he knew, like, oh yeah, they're gonna try to use Momo Street's booming to get me out of Tayio. Yeah, but all I need to do is use the vision to sink my roots even deeper into his body. So he's basically using his soul or his body, like more and more. Like, I've just got, as long as I can keep one root inside of Tayio, I will have conquest over him, for lack of a better word. Stuff with Tsubumi's power and support by the 10th generation head, his heart makes for the perfect foundation. Before we cut back to Tsubumi, Hiyofumi, and Alpha, who are still trying to like get the power. Like, they're just clinging onto her, and just they're really concentrated at this point. And Alpha and Hiyofumi are even Orian's, like, just to grab, just to give more emphasis on the power as it's going on, and say, you may even have a source of infinity energy to draw from, but paid tricks from a fading life are not nearly enough to peel me away. So yeah, I kind of understand, like I said at the beginning, where Pyjan's coming from. Yeah, how it's taking an immense amount of difficulty. Yeah, and maybe this is where Atom has much more of a trick coming up his sleeve, because even by the end of this chapter, he's still not out of Tayio. And like I said, I feel like we are going to get one more trick up Asa's sleeve before all of this is over. So as Asa is saying all of this, I'm like, oh, your petty parlor tricks from a fading life, yeah, that's not going to be nearly enough to pull me away, Momo. It was a nice trick, I'll give you that, but yeah, it's not going to have any effect to me. And we can see, like, just how much struggle Momo is at this point, having to even just get Asa out of Tayio. Like, you see, like, at this point, yeah, Asa not even, like, he's not even got any cracks on him, like, and even at this point, Momo is just like his skin is just cracking away right now. So even if they're trying to get Asa out of Tayio, yeah, Asa is correct. Like, this Momo is a fading life, and the fact that Asa is still at full strength, he still has somewhat of semi-control over Tayio at this moment. Yeah, it's not going to be enough to break Asa out of Tayio, and as Momo is cracking away, it's just like, Asa! Before Asa is gripping on to the heart, and the eyes of Tayio glow as he's just like, I needn't worry about dreams swallowing me anymore. I can take a moment to eliminate the source. The source obviously being, I guess the source being Tsubumi, but also could very well be referring to Momo herself. But yeah, point is that Asa just like blips away from everyone. He's like, I've got to get out of here. No, it is right, it's showing that it is Tsubumi. So like, Tsubumi is the source of what is essentially going on here, as we have as it's kind of difficult to make out what's going on here, because you just see it's more a sense of actions, and maybe when we get to this point in the anime it might be made a little bit more clear. But yeah, Asa is using the body to just go somewhere, as Mutsumi is just at this point praying that her husband is alright. It's just like, Tayio, please be all right, please be all right, please be all right, please be all right. Before we see him outside of the behemoth, and he's just like, wait, what is actually going on here? Like, my transport blooming Ryoku fluid shift, it disabled itself. Like, wait, I thought I had control over this blooming, like, because Asa is like the guy with a foul, like kind of like what with Nico from Witch Watch, like she's the witch with foul spells. It wouldn't surprise me if Asa is the master of the all 100 bloomings. Well, I said the ones that everyone else has, but at the same time, he has like basic copies of them, so he basically has the control of all 100 bloomings. So yeah, he's like just, what is going on here? What is going on? And then we get back into the subconscious where we have Asa just staring down like, are you conscious, Tayio? Because I can sense that you're conscious right now, and I do like the reveal here. You don't see Tayo's face at the moment. You just see like his eyes, just like the typical like the eyes that are just faded out from the paneling to kind of give us a suspense of like what the reaction is going to be as we're just looking down and being like, and then we do see that Tayio is just like, just turns back to look at Asa, and Asa at this point is just like, oh, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do? And what Tayio does is like, oh, clever boy. Like, it was suddenly placed in the background, like this thing that's coming up right now in this chapter is like something that's been there since literally the moment that Asa was introduced, which was, I mean, nearly 100 chapters ago. Like, Asa's been in the series for 2 years at this point, nearly 100 chapters, and this plot point is being brought back at the very end. So it's kind of similar thing of the Still Silver in Bleach, except done in a much more effective way, because we've had this one key element that's been there since the main villain of the entire series. Like, everything that's been leading to this point, this one little trinket is finally going to come back and play its important role. So as Asa is watching to see what Tayio is actually going to do with the body, it's almost like the body is like fighting with itself right now as it goes for the gun, and Asa is just like, his eyes are wide, like, oh, I get what's going on now, as we get the panel of the bullets, the same bullet that Momo entrusted to them, of like, yeah, use this to take down Asa, and we see the big panel of just Tayio using like the force of his body to just shoots the bullet into the chest. But from what I can tell, it seems like Asa is fully aware of this, and it's just like, I've got to protect it as much as possible at this point. So the bullet goes the bullet goes through one of the hands right into. So I assume that Asa did that to kind of like cushion the impact, so that he can still have some sort of fake control over Tayio's body. But at the same time, it's not enough. Asa starts to like be pulled out through the power of the bullet, and through the power of dreams. So you see like the sparkles, like the glittering sparkles in the mind, and then you see Asa just getting pulled out into the fast void, as he realizes, as Asa finally explains, like, oh, I get it now. Yes. The bullet, it was never meant to shoot me. This bullet was never meant to be like directly hit with me. From the start, it was always intended to break Conquest. So you see, this is again why I feel like, yeah, I can kind of see where the community is going. Like, this is getting too easy, because they've always got a plan. But at the same time, I can see where projects come up. Like, even though it has been easy, like, it's not. It's been easy in the sense that they've always had like plans for everything. The execution of the plans have been difficult, so I feel like that's where you're coming from, Party Jams, and I can agree with you on that front. But at the same time, like I've been saying, just one more trick on Asa's sleeve, and then I'll be like, okay, yeah, this was not easy. And the fact that it's taken this long as well, that should have clued me in of like, yeah, Asa has been like a very tricky opponent to take down. Like everything they've thrown at him, he's been able to counter, and everything they've thrown back, they've been able to counter. So yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from here, Pythons. Like it's been difficult, but at the same time, I gotta feel like a lot of people are being like, yeah, there's not really been any fatal casualties yet on the side of the Yozakuras, and they did bring up Creature's Truce Being Blooming and Fruitable Truce Being Blooming, and I feel like we still need to see them because, let's be honest, if we ended the series without seeing those two Truce Being Bloomers, it would just be weird. So as Asa is relaying off like, oh crap, the bullet was never meant to damage me, it was meant to break me out of Conquest, he goes on and says, oh, no big deal, I'll just have to render him unconscious again, which, yeah, I feel like Asa is going to get that play in. By the end of the chapter, Tayio was saying, like, yeah, let's finish this once for all, but I feel like Asa is going to get that one last play, and he's going to be able to retake over Tayio, and at that point, they're going to be like, what do we do? That's when the true Spring Bloomings come in. Like, I am almost 90% sure that this is what's going to happen, but hey, I could be wrong. So anyway, he goes on to use like some sort of Simonian blood, I don't know, but he uses something to like just create like a misty explosion as everyone is just watching it or just waiting for something to happen here. And Musabi even points out like, I can't see through all this dust. Tayio, what is going on? Are you okay? As we get Tayio speaking like, oh, you lose Asa, and we get reactions from everyone just being like, okay, seems like Tayio is back. Seems like it's okay. As he goes on and says, at the moment, you're nothing more than a cloud of Simonian crystals drifting around my brain. Yeah, he is, but hey, don't count your chickens before they hatch, Tayio, because like I've been saying, he's still in there. You've got to get out of it. Like, don't be being like, oh yeah, you've lost Asa, because when people say that, it's like they get a bit too cocky, and yeah, things may go south. So he continues on saying, it's thanks to hardening and a few other bloomings that you can basically hold your shape. So you are basically, Asa, on lifelines, and these lifelines are the bloomings that we all have. And the same goes to my heart. I use both hardening and softening to hold it together. So yeah, pretty clever strategy on Tayio's part. It's like when you have a being that goes inside of you, use all your powers to like clench your heart to get together and everything. But in reality, my body is no longer close to perfection you are looking for. So basically, you've lost the chance of getting this body. And even though he's saying that, I still feel he is going to get that body. Like, even though it's not as perfected as before, Asa is a very smart guy, and I feel like he'll be like, oh, it may not be as perfected as before, but I can still take it over and make it as perfected as I want, Tayio. But this is just me spouting my own like hopes for the series. And yeah, whoever win, well, we all know that the Yozakuras are going to win in the end. But if they do win, and it's like morbid victory, like someone has to die for them to win, I feel like I could cope with that, with them not like having major casualties on their part. And like I said, I feel like that stems more from the fact that we never really got to see like a lot of the fights like get long drawn out. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people probably would have complained at that point, like it's just like prolonging the final battle. And this whole thing, since like Kai and the others that the other Go Rank spies were on, who sided with us, I feel like that's just been like one big climax after another. But yeah, continuing on, Tayio goes on and says, but despite that, there are people who care. I have a family that loves me, this mess of a body and all. So he's basically saying like, yeah, this body may not be perfect in your eyes, Asa, but for my family, it's what they want, and I have that family. You have no one. You are just basically like just this mass amount of crystals that are in the air with no one to care about you. Like even your own kids have started to go against you, because we saw Ni in the last chapter, and like I said, feel like she's one of the characters who was just like, yeah, I'm done taking orders from Dad at this point. So yeah, this is basically Tayio's middle finger to Asa, like the biggest middle finger you can give her, like, What do I have that you don't that is perfect? My family. My family is perfect in my eyes. May not be perfect for you, and my body may not be perfect, but to my family, we are all perfect, and you are just you are just nothing, Asa. As we do get the full image of Tayio, like you see, like the remnants of where the bullet actually aimed. So yeah, you shooting the bullet into himself just to get rid of Asa. Pretty effective strategy, especially since his body, his heart is covered with hardening and softening. So God can Tayio commend more on that front. But he goes on to say, "I will not allow you to steal steal anything from my family. Let's put an end to this once and for all." So we are getting into that final climactic showdown, which, like I said, feel like it'll go on for like another volume and a half before or maybe another volume, and then we get like 5 chapters to wrap up the series, get the epilogue. But yeah, the next 10 chapters is going to be like the final showdown between the family and Asa. And like I said, feel like Asa is going to take over Tayio's body one more time, but the thing that's going to get them out of it is Kirichiro and Futama's True Speak Bluing, but it may be at the cost of Kirichiro. I'm still betting on Kirichiro dying because I feel like that will bring his character full circle, in just the fact that at the beginning, despised by everyone, by the end, loved by everyone because of the sacrifice he made. But yeah, so with this chapter, it was just basically like a grapple for control over Tayio's body, like who's gonna win, who's gonna lose, and it's just the final showdown now, getting ready to begin with Asa. So whatever happens next, that's something we'll just have to wait and see. So anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.